It should come as no surprise that part of what makes Jujutsu Kaisen so popular is the presence of the domain expansion. It's a character's ultimate move, which in theory and in practice is just so cool that it begs the question, what would domain expansions look like in other series? Thankfully, through the use of my 6 eyes, I have done the necessary research to bring to you guys 6 domain expansions in other series. And yes, most of these are unserious, but domain expansions don't really work super well in other series, so I hope you enjoy regardless. And if you don't already know what a domain expansion is or how it works, I already have a video on the channel poorly describing them. So without further ado, let's cover some domain expansions in different series, starting with Bubutsu Paisen. And the character that we're going to be covering is Megumi Fushiguro, the protagonist. Now, unlike Jujutsu Kaisen, this domain expansion is actually good, is actually completed without need for a structure, and is a lethal, barrierless domain. Are we pushing agendas right off the bat? Low-key, yes, but hear me out. And I know what some of you guys are thinking. At the time of this video, Megumi is actually locking in. No, Megumi doesn't get a redemption arc like that. He directly led to the death of so many characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. But in Bubutsu Paisen, this does not happen. His barrierless domain, what does it do? It summons Tiger Funeral. That's it. Listen, when explaining the 10 shadows, it is never directly stated that each incrementing number of shadow needs to be stronger than the previous one. So I dare say, number 9 is stronger than Mahoraga. So what happens when Tiger Funeral is summoned? Tiger Funeral talks to the victim, and he sounds something like this. Well. Tiger Funeral summoned again. Who do you need me to deal with this time, Megumi? This fraud? This bum? Alright, I'll give you a 5-second head start. Why Tiger Funeral is a cowboy, why I included this bit, I don't really know. It was impromptu. Most of these videos are. But yeah, anyway, he gives the victim like 5 seconds to run away, and then he chases down the victim, fodderizes them, and then he comes back to be pet by Megumi, who is actually really powerful, so he likes to be pet by him. And unlike Mahoraga, who has been defeated in the past twice, I might add, Tiger Funeral has never lost. So we'll call this Chimera Shadow Garden Full Power Max Output 0 Omega Alpha. And I think it might just be the strongest domain ever. The next series we're gonna cover is almost like a relative to Jujutsu Kaisen. It's Chainsaw Man, and we're covering Makima. Is what I would say if I wasn't a based lord. Yeah, obviously Makima would have a domain expansion, and obviously it would be powerful. Whatever, man, she controls people, but the Bat Devil. This is where it's really at. So how does the Bat Devil's domain work? Well, technically it's a lethal domain because of the results, but in reality it's non-lethal just because it makes you follow the rules. Inside the domain, you see nothing but the Bat Devil. In fact, literally nothing happens. You just stare at one another, kind of like what you and I are doing in a less parasocial way. But instead of you looking at the embodiment of perfection chiseled by the gods themselves, his hideous stench and face leave you no choice. You want this domain to end. There's only one way to end it. I'm sorry. So if it's not abundantly clear why this is a lethal domain, it's because, like I said in my Chainsaw Man videos, whenever fucking Bat Devil appears on my screen, I want to rip my eyes out. The dude doesn't even look like a bat. He looks like a fucking pig. And for some reason, his toenails are longer than your weird cousins. It's just unhygienic. It's just ugly. You get him away. You want it to end. What should we call it? We'll call it the 9th layer of hell. Just staring at it for 30 seconds. Honestly, a lot stronger than Makima's if you ask me. Let's move on to the next domain. The next domain we're covering is in the Breaking Bad universe, and it's Walter Hartwell White's. So Walter White's domain is also a non-lethal domain, and that's just because personally I think that non-lethal domains are more interesting than the lethal ones, but what he does is summon a pink man, this RV, this kind of hayfield, and he fills this barrier with gas. I know a lot of you saw this coming, but this gas is in fact blue. It is methamphetamines, and Walt, Pink Man, and the victim are all subjected to the effects of the drug. Psych, bitch! Walter takes out his little crystals, which is only used once in the show for some fucking reason. He throws them down, he explodes on you, and he is not subjected to the effects. We'll call it high off supply. Other alternative names I thought for it were Broken Bad, but that just sounds like you're playing an OP character like Reaper in Overwatch. Or Narcissistic Knickers, the one who knocks, but I like this one. The next domain and series we're covering is from the National Basketball Association, and the protagonist specifically, LeBron James, who also has a non-lethal domain with his accolades adorning the barrier. I mean, picture this, the barrier falls down, and then all of a sudden in bold gold letters, all of these accolades start appearing. 4 times Finals MVP, 4 times MVP, 4 times NBA champion, all of his accolades, and you start to get intimidated. You start thinking, wait a minute, I don't have these accolades. And then a bright light appears from above as the domain is illuminated, and microphones appear next to LeBron and the victims. A popular rap song starts playing in the background. Lucky for you, you know this rap song and you know its lyrics. But the catch with this domain is, if you can guess what LeBron is about to say, what he's about to sing, you get a damage amp. If you are unable to guess what LeBron is about to sing, which is almost impossible because he doesn't know any single song lyric, he gets the damage amp. And that's problematic, because he doesn't need one. My Lapuki. So basically you're fucked. We'll call it the Goats Lying Sing-Along. The next series we're covering is the Super Mario Bros. Franchise, and of course we're gonna cover Mario himself. It is a lethal Oh shit, Nintendo comes in with a steel chair! Psych, I got you motherfuckers. We're covering the Nintendo series. Nintendo is the main character. It's a barrierless domain, and while in range, you may not think about Nintendo IP, and you already did it, now that I mentioned this. If you think about any single intellectual property that Nintendo has, you get a strike. If you get 3 strikes, you are removed from playing, if you know what I mean. It's a little ironic that I'm using Nintendo music in this video, but sometimes you just gotta win a domain clash. Just kidding, don't send this to Nintendo. Just kidding, I don't want my channel taken down. I've poured so many hours of hard work and sweat into this, Nintendo, please. If you are successful of not thinking of any Nintendo IP, then nothing happens. But they're watching, because this domain is barrierless, and its range is infinite. We will call it, I'm legally not allowed to say. No, like, literally, I'm not legally allowed to say, so you can make up a name in the comments. And for the final series that we're covering today, we're covering Marvel's Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige's domain specifically. So it's a non-lethal domain in which he summons a team of writers. Then the victim and the team of writers compete to see who can come up with the best story. And you're probably thinking right now, I am so fucked. I'm not creative. All I do is sit and watch YouTube. How can I beat a team of writers? Listen, there's one rule in this domain. The only restriction is that there is no multiverse shenanigans. I know, Chris Evans. I'd be crying too if I was in charge of the MCU. And it is a powerful domain. The winner gets every single one of the loser's abilities, including strength, intelligence, speed, any powers. Thankfully, the victim will win, don't you worry. It is an impossible task. Try to think of a non-multiverse story challenge. Level impossible. Thank you, Kevin Feige. I will take my money now. We'll call this domain Please Stop with the Multiverse BS. Please, 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 by Sabrina Carpenter. Wait, we can't. The money is too good. Oh well, worth the shot. At least they didn't cast Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Oh wait. But wait, there's one more series coming in with a steel chair. It's Mount Olympus. Oh, Luca Levy's domain. It's a charmingly lethal domain. If you are hit by the sure hit effect of this domain, which is making it to the part of this video, you are forced to consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed. If you do so, if you do manage to like and subscribe, however, you do get special bonuses, which include me tucking you in every single night, you gaining 99% sexiness, you becoming a little funnier, and also a free 49 aura. But if you don't, grr. Grr, he's going crazy. Ah. That was Tiger Funeral again. Anyway, you're looking really pretty, and I am embarrassed that I did that. I love you. Goodbye. See you next time.